Irrigation is the most expensive part of maintaining your home landscape. Therefore, what I want to talk about today is how you economize on that by using an irrigation system wisely. The first thing, of course, is that when you install it, you want to have a separate metering system because it will be less expensive if they know you're irrigating with meter B rather than meter A, which is also going to be clocked against your sanitation system, which means not only will you be paying for your water, you'll also be paying for the sewage that would go along with that volume of water. You can have different forms of irrigation. One, you can actually take it off of the faucets that are on the outside of your house. It's the least effective way, and it's probably the one that wastes the most money. Or you can have irrigation that's built into your landscape, which is more expensive, but in the long run you wind up saving money because you will use much less water and get more effectiveness from it. And that's what we're going to talk about. Every lawn needs 1 inch of water delivered at one time per 1,000 square feet in a garden, and that's 760 gallons. So knowing exactly how much water you're getting is important for any homeowner to know. And I recommend most highly that you have rain gauges in your landscape so that you know how much water you're being provided from above and then how much you're going to have to supplement with from your irrigation system, no matter which one it is. Now, the value of an irrigation system is that you try to, number one, have plant material that consumes less water. So if you have smaller plants, or if you have native plants, or you group plants by water consumption, then you can sometimes save on the amount of water that you need to use at any one time. We're talking about native vegetation because native vegetation has always been here and has learned to live with the water that's available in our soil, so you may not have to provide additional moisture for them. Spot irrigation, that's small pipes that lead directly to a plant that distribute water only to the plant that you want to irrigate. And then there is also what's known as rotating heads or a directional head, which puts aerial spray. The problem with aerial spray is that you're going to get what's known as evaporation and drift before it comes in contact with the soil. So it's good, but generally we would recommend if you're using aerial head spray heads that you do that only in the early morning hours. I'm talking like 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning so that the moisture, the water gets into the soil before it starts to evaporate. In other systems, there are what's known as soaker hoses or drip irrigation that's oriented strictly on the bed that you want to provide the moisture to. Now, that works generally in ornamental shrubbery, but if you have vegetable gardens, then you're talking about a different technique. And generally what's advised there is you use a low-flow hose device which puts the water down the rows between the plants so that you're putting the moisture on the soil and not spreading it on the leafy surfaces of the vegetables or the plants that you're growing. How many times have you been driving down a street in our beautiful city and noticed that it's raining out? And then when you look at someone's lawn, they're irrigating at the same time. Well, guess what's being wasted? It's either the rainfall that you can't turn off, or it's the irrigation system that should not have been turned on. I think critical in any installed irrigation system is that you have some sort of sensing device that when it is raining, the system does not turn on. Alternatively, when we're talking about a system that's installed in a landscape, they all have timers on them. The worst thing in the world you can do is to every day turn on your irrigation system for 15 minutes. Because if you don't know how much water you're distributing, you don't know how much water you're providing to your plant material with that system. Generally what you need to know is to get your system calibrated. Know how much water you're distributing in any given zone for however long it takes. In this part of North Carolina, it's critical to understand that if we do have a drought situation, your public utility will be instructing you on when you should water and when you should not water. Follow their directions. They're doing it for your good and the benefit of your soil. If we get into a serious condition, they will tell you that, oh, by the way, you can no longer irrigate. Well, then accept the fact that most plant material will go dormant if faced with a drought situation. The plant material probably, the highest probability is that it won't die, but it will definitely be set back for this particular growing year or growing cycle, but it won't die on you. But accept the fact that you may have to accept some loss of appearance in your landscape, but it's for the good of everyone and for our environment.